My brother and I built a dating app for Africans called Trueflutter that has now grown to become the largest African-owned dating app on the continent with more than 10 million matches and counting. And over the years, we've gotten thousands of user feedback stories and we've looked at hundreds of millions of data points. And what that has done is it's given us a pretty unique and interesting perspective on what it is that helps people find compatible partners and get into successful relationships. In this video, I'm going to share with you the one major reason why people who say they are single and searching still haven't found a partner for so many years, despite the fact that they live in cities or towns with millions of other single people who are also searching. Not only that, I'm going to give you a very simple 3-part strategy that you can follow to accelerate the speed at which you find a compatible match and maybe even bring that down to a question of weeks. How can I be so sure? Well, one of the things that we are obsessed about at Trueflutter is getting user feedback. And we do this in a number of ways, one of them being through customer surveys. And sometimes those surveys come in and they are fantastic. People tell you, oh, Trueflutter totally changed my life because I met the love of my life on Trueflutter. Sometimes the responses are not so great. Last year, June, there was a lady who wrote back to say Trueflutter had been an absolute waste of her time and she was getting ready to delete the app. Of course, that hurt my feelings just a tiny little bit, but when I looked at her profile on our admin dashboard, I really wasn't surprised that she hadn't had a lot of success. In fact, if you look at a lot of the people who have had success on our platform, compared to those who hadn't, you will begin to see a lot of commonalities between the guys who succeeded and the guys who were not getting great results. And there's one major difference that I'm going to share with you in just a moment. But right before I do that, I want to show you a very short video clip from Leila Hormozi. If you don't know who she is, she's the co-founder of acquisition.com. She built it alongside her husband, Alex. The portfolio of their companies is worth over $500 million right now. She's very busy. She has really high standards, but she met her partner on a dating app. And I want you to just take a look at what she did because I think it really demonstrates the point I'm about to make.
Here's how I would recommend using Bumble or Hinge or Tinder or any other dating app to find a significant other. If you want to find someone to commit to the rest of your life or even for just a significant relationship, it's going to take work to find that person. And so what you want to do is you want to set yourself a goal. So for me, I either had a time goal or I had a volume goal. What I did is I had lunch every day. I had a 40-minute break when I was at my job. And I said, while I'm eating, while I'm talking, no matter what I'm doing, I'm swiping the whole time, left, right, whatever it means. When I wasn't working and I had more free time, I would say, okay, I need to swipe through 100 people. And so whichever one works for you is what I would pick, but I would either say dedicate a time or dedicate an amount of swipes that you're going to do every day to commit to finding somebody. And then what you're going to say is, okay, now that I've done the swipe, how many dates do I need to go on? I committed to going on 1 date a week minimum.
One major difference between people who have success on dating apps and people who do not is simply the way they approach it. The guys who don't have success on dating apps typically approach it the way they would any other social media app like an Instagram or a Facebook, and they get on it, they scroll through, they're open to meeting people. The guys who have success on these platforms, they are much more intentional and they approach dating apps the way they would LinkedIn, a tool to help them find the exact kind of partner that they want. Now, before you go there saying, hey Ayo, it's just finding a partner, it's not that big a deal. It actually is. There are very few decisions in your life that you will make that will have such an impact on your levels of happiness and your levels of general life satisfaction as having the right kind of partner. Honestly, whenever I meet people who tell me that they are seriously searching for a compatible partner, but they've been struggling to find someone good, I truly empathize because I know that there are so many great people out there who have so much love to give. But oftentimes when I ask the same people who say they are searching a couple of questions, it turns out that they haven't really put a lot of effort into it. Let me give you an example of what I mean. There's a conversation that I have all the time with people. I literally had this conversation with somebody 2 days ago. This lady is a very pretty, very kind-hearted lady, 37 years old. She works in software sales. And she told me that the most important thing in her life right now is finding a life partner that she can start a family together with, which is fair. And so when I asked her, hey, are you on any dating apps? She said, yeah. And she mentioned the name of a really good dating app that she was on. I was like, okay, how many connection requests have you sent in the last 1 week? She said 2. All right. How many ongoing chats do you have on the platform? It was a really low number, maybe like 2 or 1 or something. When was the last time you went on a date? She hadn't been on a date in over a month. And so it turns out, even though she said she was searching, seriously searching, she hadn't done very much in terms of taking action towards what it was she wanted. And honestly, this is not me casting blame, because I know there are a lot of people that are similar to her. And I think truthfully, it's the fault of a lot of dating app companies, because the way they promote their products, they say, oh, get on the app, find love in an instant. But the truth is, in order to find love, even on a dating app, which I truly think is the most efficient way in this day and age to find a partner, even on a dating app, in order to find love, you need to put in a significant amount of effort. My brother says, in order to find your prince, you need to kiss a couple of frogs, and he's quite right. All right, so let's talk about what it takes to find success on these platforms. At Trueflutter, we examined the groups of people who found success and who found partners quickly, and we looked at the groups of people who didn't. And we found some interesting commonalities within both groups, which we call romantic success KPIs. And so what I'm gonna do is to give you 3 simple things that you can do to dramatically accelerate the speed at which you find compatible partners on the dating apps that you use. Romantic KPI number 1 shouldn't come as any surprise, and that is level of effort. When we took a look at the people who had success on these platforms, there were quite a number of interesting indicators that reflected the level of effort that they put into finding the person that they wanted. And the first of that was profile completion strength. And that basically measures how the quality of a person's profile. The guys who found success, the average profile rating was 4.5 out of 5, which means that they took time to complete their profiles, they put great pictures, they utilized all the little features that we placed on the platform to help them really cause their profile to stand out. Now, lots of dating apps have lots of really great tools that let you do this. For example, I know Hinge lets you record an intro video and add that to your profile so that people who, when they come across your profile, they look at it and they are able to tell a lot more about your personality. At Trueflutter, we wanted to make it even easier. And so we included audio bios, something that you can actually put on your profile to help you really stand out so people can hear what you sound like, and you can just introduce yourself to potential matches. And because we know not everybody is able to have a mic put in their face and then they just kind of freestyle, we've made it possible for you to just answer a few questions, and that generates a custom script for you. So you can simply press record, read your script, and have a beautiful audio bio. Let me show you an example of what that looks like.
Hi there, my name is Oma and I'm 21. I'm a creative book lover by day and an experimentalist by night. I love animals and I love the outdoors, so yes to outdoorsy dates and definitely yes to walks. I would also call myself a hopeless romantic because I still believe in true love and I do believe in finding my soulmate. Now, the question of whether they're here on Trueflutter is what I haven't quite figured out yet. So, why don't you text me, swipe, so we can find out together.
Now, as amazing as that feature is, on our platform, only 27% of our users actually have an audio bio added onto it, despite the fact that we've made it so easy to do. And again, that just speaks to the level of effort that a lot of people put in when they're trying to create a profile. Now, why is this so important? I want you to think about something. If I invited you to a cocktail party where you knew there were going to be lots of eligible men and women there, how would you dress? You would definitely come dressed in the best way you could to make the best possible impression. That truly is what your profile is on a dating app. It lets people know this is the kind of person I think I would love to have a conversation with, and then they take action towards doing that. Another thing that was a reflection of the level of effort people were putting in was the way that they sent connection requests. And so the interesting thing is the guys who didn't have a lot of success just seemed to be mindlessly just sending connection requests. The guys who had a lot of success, they were much more thoughtful in the way that they sent connection requests. And there are 2 things that really indicated this to us. The first is, for the guys who sent fewer connection requests but who had a lot more success, they were much more intentional about the way they connected with people. So at Trueflutter, we have a very interesting feature called a flutter. And what it does is it lets you add a voice text message along with your connection request. Let me show you what that kind of looks like.
Hey Omar, you have such a cool profile, and your audio bio actually had me chuckling there for a minute. Just like you, I love the outdoors, and there's nothing I'd like better than taking hikes early on Saturday mornings. I also noticed you're a creative writer. I actually just started taking writing courses recently to help me make better content for YouTube. And right now I'm geeking out on hooks and storytelling. I'm sure we'd have a lot to talk about, and I'd really love to connect.
And so the guys who had a lot of success on Trueflutter, when they sent connection requests, they typically would send them using flutters to introduce themselves to the people they wanted to connect with. Also, we found that many of the people who found success on Trueflutter, oftentimes they would use the app and then they would save to favorites people that they found interesting. And afterwards, they would go back and they would review those profiles again and then send them connection requests using flutters. Again, this just shows the level of intentionality and the level of thought, care, and effort that went into their match requests. So it's no surprise that they had way higher acceptance rates with the connection requests that they sent. And then the last point on the level of effort simply turned out to be the amount of time that they spent on the app. The guys who had more success typically spent a lot more time on the dating app than people who did not. All right, so when it comes to level of effort, what can you do to make sure that you get a lot of success? First off is take time to fill out your profile bio. I know a lot of us, when we get on apps, we want to sign up as quickly as we can and start interacting with the system. But on a dating app, you need to treat it very differently. It might take you 20 minutes, 25 minutes, maybe less, depending on the kind of platform it is, to fill out a really great profile bio. But it is the best investment you can make in making sure that you have a profile that attracts the kind of person that you want to connect with. The second is don't spam people. Be a lot more thoughtful and intentional in curating a feed of people that you want to match with and then connect with those guys. And if you're on a dating app that lets you customize your connection request, then be sure to put in the additional effort to make sure you do that. If you think about LinkedIn, for example, when people are sending connection requests on LinkedIn, LinkedIn will tell you that adding a personalized note will increase the likelihood of your connection request being accepted. Same on dating apps as well. And then lastly, dedicate time to it. Look at the example that Layla Hormozi gave. She would do it every day, 30 minutes during lunchtime. She was connecting with people. Dedicate some time of your day to make sure that you give yourself the best possible chance of finding the kind of person that you want. So that was romantic KPI number 1, which was level of effort. Now let's talk about romantic KPI number 2, which is speed of progression. For a lot of the guys that had success on Trueflutter, we could find that they went very quickly from being a match to having a chat to having a video call and then to having an in-person date, which was quite surprising compared to the guys who didn't have success and just had a bunch of chats going on that never went anywhere. Now, I think the most important part in that journey is going very quickly from a chat that you find interesting to a video call, because what that's going to help you do is help you identify with a certain level of accuracy whether this is the kind of person that you actually want to meet in person. And the great thing about most dating apps out there, I know most of the world-class dating apps have it. We have it on Trueflutter as well. You can have a video call right there on the dating app without having to exchange phone numbers or having to give the person your personal details so you can have a video call on WhatsApp. And so what you want to do, if you've been careful in the way you curate the guys that you are even connecting with in the first place, once you have the chats, if you know that this chat is going well, and I'm talking about if you've chatted for a day or two at max, then you say, hey, it'll be great to have a video call with you after work today. Let me know what time works. And then you get on that video call and you can know, like I said, does this person sound like someone that I would love to hang out with? You've seen what they look like in real life. You know how a lot of people can pimp up their profile pictures with Photoshop and stuff like that. But you're on a video call, so you can tell to a certain level of accuracy what this person actually looks like, mannerisms, how they sound, how they smile. And then you decide whether or not you want to move that onto an in-person date. If you don't want to move it onto an in-person date, then there is no reason why you should carry on that conversation. A lot of people sometimes feel conflicted and say, hey, I've had this chat going on. I don't really like the person. I don't kind of know how to kill it. But this is someone you've met on a dating app and you've had one call with. If you truly legitimately feel it's not going to go anywhere, and don't be afraid to say, hey, look, it's been great chatting with you. I'm not sure this is the right fit, but wishing you all the best. And then you unmatch. And what that does is it frees up your mental bandwidth to focus on the quality people that you still have left in your inbox. And if you are doubting the power of a video call on a dating app. Let me show you a short clip from Tim Ferriss. If you don't know who Tim Ferriss is, he probably has one of the biggest podcasts in the world. He's a New York Times bestseller like 4 times over. He was an early investor in Airbnb, in Uber, and a lot of these big, great companies. And he's someone that knows a thing or two about relationships.
Dating apps can be so incredibly time consuming because what you could learn, somebody please make a dating app where the sole purpose is to get people on a 10-minute video call. That's it. That's it. The stated purpose is just 10-minute video call. And it's built intrinsically into the app. That's it. That's the only goal of the app. Because
it's virtual speed dating.
Within 2 minutes, you know if there is some type of
chemistry.
Vibe. You know if your spider sense is saying go or no go.
So your goal should be ultimately to move your interactions from chats to video calls to in-person meetings as quickly as you can. Now, just a quick note about the in-person dates. Please make sure the first couple of dates are always in a public place for your own safety. All right, so that was romantic KPI number 2, which is speed of progression. Romantic KPI number 3 is purchasing a premium plan. And I know, this probably sounds like a conflict of interest because I own a dating app company. But the thing is, the data doesn't lie. And when you look at a lot of the people who find success on the platform, many of them have a premium subscription that they've purchased at some point in recent history. And it does make sense. For example, at Trueflutter, my brother and I, we've spent over 1 billion naira building out the platform. The only way we're able to pay developers, the only way we're able to pay hosting costs, the only way we're able to do all the other things that keep the company running is when customers purchase premium plans and make in-app purchases. And so, of course, we spend a ridiculous amount of time thinking about how we can give those people value because they're the ones that keep the company running. And every single dating app company in the world, their algorithm is designed to prioritize the guys who are on premium plans. So those guys see the best profiles on the platform. Every dating app company has built out filters to help the guys who are on premium plans filter and identify people who match their own criteria so that they can match much more quickly. It just makes logical sense. And so on your part, if you say you are serious about finding a compatible partner, why won't you buy back your time by investing in a premium plan? And don't get me wrong, we also have a lot of people who stayed on free plans all this while and they still found a partner, but it will take you much longer and it will take you a lot more effort. You know, I have this friend, this was before we launched Trueflutter, like maybe 3 months to our launch. And so she was using Bumble actually, which is a great platform. And I asked her, I said, hey, do you have a premium subscription? And she was like, no, hell no. Why on earth would I pay for a dating app? Now this lady, she earned at the time $160,000 tax-free because we live in Dubai. And her premium subscription is less than what she would spend on lunch. That would have bought her a premium subscription plan for 1 month. So why wouldn't she do that? Again, different people have their reasons, but I think a lot of times for a lot of people, the deep underlying reason is they feel it makes them look or sound desperate if they are paying for a premium plan. I honestly don't know why that is, but that is kind of the sense that I get from a lot of people I interact with. But for you, if you say you are serious about finding a partner, then you should put your money where your mouth is. Make the tiny investment that it will take you to buy back your time, to see better quality profiles, and to be able to accelerate the speed with which you find what you're looking for. All right, so I know I've hit you with a lot of information today, but to summarize, romantic leading KPIs. Number 1, put in the effort that it takes to build a really great profile, invest time in curating the matches that you're connecting with, and invest time on the platform in general. Romantic KPI number 2, speed of progression. Make it your goal to go from chats to video calls to in-person meetings as quickly as you can. And romantic KPI number 3 is purchase a premium plan so that you can buy back your time and find what you are looking for much faster. All right, so that's it. That's really what it takes to find the kind of person that you truly will love. In this video, what I've shared with you is what you need to do to accelerate the speed and the rate at which you find a compatible partner. But once you find this person, what happens next? Many of you guys may not know this, but at Trueflutter, apart from the dating app company, we also own a very quiet, private, exclusive VIP matchmaking service. And between both these businesses, we've had over 100 weddings and thousands of engagements. Many of these couples are doing incredibly well, and we've had a front row seat in their relationship journey. And from these, we've drawn so many insights. So in my next video, I'm going to be sharing with you the best relationship advice you've never been told. I'll see you in the next one.